Hey everyone, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in to Relevant Jukebox, and today we're going to talk about this new Childish Gambino record. Well, he's back. The prolific actor, comedian, producer, singer Donald Glover has come out of his early retirement. A few days ago, Donald actually released this album exclusively streaming on his website. And I actually didn't even get a chance to stream it because it was removed pretty quickly a couple days later. And then boom, out of nowhere, this album is now dropped on all streaming platforms, and it does actually sport a different track listing with songs that are titled after timestamps throughout the runtime. As a musician, Donald Glover has gone through a couple different evolutions. He had his more hip-hop centric days on records like Camp, and then he ended up tweaking it and improving it on his sophomore full-length album Because the Internet, which I also still think is his best record. And then he explored a more spacey, soul, funk-centric driven direction on his last full-length album Awaken My Love, which was also a pretty solid album overall. But he's never really struck a chord with me, if I'm being honest. His music has always come off to me like a combination of other contemporary artists at the time, but tweaked a little bit to give it sort of like an experimental edge, but none of it really comes off as unique. Now, this new album over here is definitely weirder than his previous material, but not as fleshed out. The track 1238 does have a cool beat on it that sounds pretty heavily inspired by Tyler the Creator. The beginning of this track just drags on way too long though, with one too many verses, until 21 Savage hops onto the track and actually delivers a pretty enjoyable feature, but it feels too late. And the track has a pretty cool psychedelic outro as well. I just wish it didn't occur 6.5 minutes into the track. And honestly, the way I feel about this song is kind of what my gripe with this whole album is. I do like a lot of the instrumentation and some of the ideas that are presented on here. It also does have some pretty solid features, like Ariana Grande, for example, on the track On Time, but I kind of wish that there were more features. But a majority of these tracks just have parts in them that drag on way too long and don't really end up coming off psychedelic or progressive, more like linear and repetitive. And all of the cool parts that occur on this record, when they do occur, feel out of place. The track 2419 suffers from this and might be one of the more tedious spots on the whole record. Donald's vocals on this cut kind of just sound off, and really was it necessary to have it run on for 7.5 minutes? Probably not, especially when there isn't really a huge payoff that happens towards the end. Instead, it's kind of like this weird passage where Donald seems like he's having a panic attack and then he calmly recovers from it or something. There is a strong finish to the record though, I thought, with the last two tracks. I liked the beat on the last track, 5349, and Donald also gives one of his more animated vocal performances, but this track also doesn't overstay its welcome like a lot of these other cuts do. But then you have tracks on here like 3222, and it just sounds like an absolute mess, honestly. It gives off this vibe like Travis Scott got blackout drunk and then was just recording whatever he felt was good in the studio or something. But 3531, directly after this cut, has got to be the most annoying spot on the whole record. There is just an obnoxious hook on this track that repeats itself way too much, and Donald's vocals are very loud in the mix, and it swallows up the really hollow sounding instrumental. And then the beat sort of changes towards the end and becomes cooler, but it doesn't enhance the track. It just kind of makes me feel like that should have been the track the whole time. So yeah, to be quite honest, wasn't really feeling this new Childish Gambino record. I do not think it was up to par with his last two. And with that being said, I'm feeling a 5 over here. Now, I was looking around online. I didn't find a vinyl press of this just yet, but I guess keep your eyes peeled. Maybe because of the whole virus going around, a lot of this production is getting delayed. So if you listen to this new Childish Gambino record, what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you for watching. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you drop a like down below. And if you want more content from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Peace.